been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. Let's do it again and get vaccinated, because we're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com and schedule a vaccine today. Sponsored by Pfizer.
70% of women develop fibroids by age 50 and some younger than that. If you're struggling with heavy periods, pain, or bloating, you're not alone. Fibroids are debilitating for many women. This Saturday on the Community Health Focus Hour, join Dr. Edwin McDonald and guests as they dive into the causes, symptoms, and treatments for fibroids. It will be an empowering and maybe life-changing conversation. The Community Health Focus Hour, Saturdays at 1 p.m., powered by UChicago Medicine, at the forefront.
On Sunday, March 9th at 2 a.m., daylight saving time ends. That means set your clocks forward 1 hour ahead before you go to bed. It's time to spring forward. The message from your friends at WVON.
It's the Wake Up Show with the Illinois Black Chamber of Commerce on Chicago's essential storyteller, WVON. It's the Wake Up Show with the Illinois Black Chamber of Commerce on Chicago's essential storyteller, WVON.
Welcome to the Wake Up Show, Chicago.
Rise and shine. It's the Wake Up Show, where every sunrise is a call to action. Powered by the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, we are the champions of change, advocating for diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility in the world of corporate and government contracting. It's not just a show, it's a movement. So get ready for another dynamic journey as we wake up the world to a new era of opportunities and empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, President Larry Ivory.
And good morning. It is the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. Okay, pardon my French. Here we go. Good morning, Chicago. It's your girl, LaDonna Raeh with Raeh Consulting, and I am a proud member of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce and the NAACP. You are welcome to the Wake Up Show, Chicago. Let me tone it down because it's the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. You know, we are powered by the ILBCC.org, and we are sponsored by Wind Creek Casino Southland. We're here each and every Saturday morning at 9 a.m., and we're coming to you live on WVON 1690 a.m. and streaming everywhere in the world on iHeartRadio. Make sure you subscribe to the Wake Up Show Chicago. If you look for that on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. That way you'll be notified of every event or every post that we put in YouTube. And it's always fun stuff, okay? Informational, educational, and business oriented. Also, write this number down. It's 773-591-1690, so you can call us live during the show. But before we dive into today's powerful discussion, I want to introduce who I am co-host to, a man who is a great leader in Black business advocacy, serving as the president and CEO of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, and also the chairman of the board of the National Black Chamber of Commerce in Washington, D.C., Mr. Larry Ivory. Good morning, Larry.
Good morning, LaDonna Raeh, and to our listening audience at WVON. It is another exciting day to have a real conversation about things that matter. You know, and one of the things that we always say about the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, we believe that if we strengthen Black businesses, we strengthen Black communities, we strengthen Black people, and we also strengthen America. So I'm excited that we have some incredible guests and incredible company that is doing some incredible stuff on the energy side. And we also have none other than our good friend, who is no stranger to the Illinois State Black Chamber. Gosh, she's a part of the family, Terrie Simmons also. So now I'm going to turn it back over to you because I want to dive right into this conversation with the incredible company Constellation. So LaDonna, back to you.
Of course, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our guest. But yes, in studio, I'm not going to act like she's not sitting across from me wearing my favorite color, pink, if you will, Miss Terrie Simmons. But we're also just stay tuned, guys, because makes sense. And speaking of Constellation, we have our special guest, Andre Wallace with Constellation. He is the Vice President of Diversity. And it is such a pleasure to have an individual that is still working in those and navigating those waters, especially with the current administration in place. Mr. Andre Wallace, welcome to the Wake Up Show, Chicago. Now, wait, before you get started, I want to make sure that everyone can see you on our live stream. Just because I don't see you on the camera just yet, but I want to make sure that everyone can see you. If you have an opportunity to just get onto our social media, make sure that you go to youtube.com and look for the Wake Up Show Chicago, and you'll see our guest that is on with us today. Let me make sure that you're in there. And now I see you. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I see you on the camera, but we don't see you on the live stream. We're going to get that together. Well, can we come back to you, Andre, if you don't mind? Yeah, we got to do it right. Right. We got you covered. One moment. All right. So, Terry, tell us a little bit about Constellation and the cohesiveness that you guys have with the event that's coming up. is. Hi, Andre. Now we see you.
All right. All right.
All right. Now let's rewind. Andre, tell everyone who you are because I really want them to truly know the specialty that we have on the Wake Up Show Chicago today.
All right. I really appreciate that and really appreciate being here and having an invite. Being a native Chicagoan, or I should say, born and raised in Evanston, but live in Chicago now. But it's truly an honor to be here. Andre Wallace, I work for Constellation Energy and have the pleasure of really being responsible for the development of our suppliers in the engagement thereof. And for those who don't know who Constellation is, this is a great opportunity for us to share who we are. There's a woman on my team who you guys, if you go to the event, then you should go to the event next week that you'll meet Tawanda Livingston. She has coined a phrase for us, and that is Constellation is open for business. And I can't stress that enough. We are open for business. And that's the good news that we're here to really share with you all today, right? But we'll get into that later. But for me, again, been a part of this company for 8 years. For those who don't know, Constellation was a part of Exelon, or here in Chicago, we know it as ComEd. Exelon is the parent company of ComEd. But 3 years ago, those two companies split. And so we can get more into that. But I am Andre Wallace, and again, here really to talk about the good things that we're doing to really bring in small and diverse businesses into our company and share in the things that we're doing. So I'll pause there. And if you want to come back, we get more into what my company does, but I'll pause there.
No, this is lovely because one of my questions for you would be, why has Constellation returned as a sponsor of the third annual summit? You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be here.
I will definitely do that. But let me give you a little bit more on the company, right? And I'll come back so people know, because
Sure.
We are a company for, again, like I said, 3 years new, but really that have a lot to offer. Number one thing you should understand is we are the number one clean energy provider in the U.S. Number one. And we have a market cap size of approximately $80 billion, market cap size of $80 billion, and revenues around $25 billion. We are in 48 of the states, DC and Canada and UK. And we have about almost 15,000 people at this point. But the thing that I want viewers and listeners to really understand here is our fleet contains nuclear, hydroelectric, solar, and wind, gas and oil, and some hydrogen. We actually are the largest clean energy operator in the U.S., and we provide 3/4 of the Fortune 100 with their power needs. Now, please understand that we're a company that sources. Listen, suppliers out there, we source over 100 different categories within Constellation, over 100 different, right? And so for those companies that are looking to step into this clean energy transition, we pride ourselves on really helping lead into that new energy transition. Now, that said, why do we do this? Why is this our third annual sponsorship of the summit? End of the day, we cannot do what we do without our partners, period. Larry, Terrie, we need the partnership. When I stepped into this role 2 years ago, it was all about how do we create this ecosystem that enables our suppliers, our communities, to really understand what it is that we buy, right? But part of creating that ecosystem was also making sure that internally that we had clear line of sight into what those opportunities are. And so what we've done is, in understanding what I would say is our pipeline, it's not just about, the 100 things that we buy, but what we're buying today and what we're going to buy tomorrow. And then being able to partner with the chamber, with MBDA to say, hey, here is where the opportunities lie, and here's where they exist. And through the partnership, understanding what is that downstream effect? What are those suppliers that have the capability to compete and to win our business? So when we do that, when we partner with the chamber and with the MBDA, we're able to help demonstrate also our commitment to economic inclusion.
Mm.
Economic inclusion.
I love
And
that you said the commitment. I'm sorry. I just got goosebumps when you said that.
yeah, it is a commitment because, again, when you think about bringing in suppliers in the communities that we serve and communities that reflect the populations, we know that for every dollar we spend with a supplier, especially our small and local suppliers in local communities, marginalized communities, that dollar gets replicated, right? It gets replicated in the jobs that are being offered by those companies that we're employing, in taxes that go back in the community. So with the commitment to economic inclusion is huge. We're able to do that through partnering with organizations like this. It also allows us to forge that mutual beneficial relationship, right, with our regional partners. We're in Chicago. We're in Illinois. We need Midwest suppliers. We need suppliers in the Midwest, right? And so what better way to do that than to be able to support a summit like that's going to happen next week where we can meet, identify, engage with those suppliers, and really also have the opportunity, because the way in which the program is set up next week is really the ability to learn and share best practices, right? And those best practices help drive the economic inclusion. When we talk about supply and getting into companies like Constellation, it's not a spectator sport, right? If you're gonna win, you got to get in the game. These are the opportunities to be able to come to these events, meet companies like Constellation, other people that are buying, and forge that relationship. So this is a forum that creates that, and I can't think of a better way than for Constellation to be able to be a part of that. And so we love the partnership with both the chamber and the MBDA.
Now, will there be workshops and you mentioned something about, did I hear you say matchmaking? There'll be
Yeah,
workshops and networking sessions. Will there
absolutely.
be direct engagement with Constellation representatives?
Yes, yes, and yes.
Yeah, yeah. This is key for our listeners to hear so that they understand that Constellation is not just way up in the sky. They are close and accessible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
That that is so critical to us. I have a small but mighty team, and that team is even expanded through the partnerships we have internally. And so next week, you will see us as a sponsor. You'll see us on stage. You will see us participate in panels. You will see us in the matchmaking events. Heck, if we got to help serve water, we'll serve water. The bottom line
Make sure
is
it's cold and room temperature. You know, you got your split room there.
And it'll be 65 next week.
Oh, nice, nice.
that's right. So the bottom line is that whether we're in the exhibit hall or standing panel, as I said earlier, we're open for business. The best way to learn about our business and for us to learn about you all is to come see us, right? I will have my full team there. We'll also have some people from the supply organization. And the whole idea there is first and foremost to help you guys understand who we are, how to do business with us. But like I said, what are the opportunities that are present now and in the next year, right? Because we would like to have that forward thinking. And then for us to understand who you are, right? The more we understand about who you are, the better opportunity that we have to talk to the teams internally, to help them get to know who you are. The other thing, I'll put a little plug in here too for our businesses that are out there. Opportunities come in all sizes, shapes, and forms. What my team does is we help create that access to opportunity. And so sometimes that can be a direct bid, that can be a subcontract bid, that can be a mentor protege program. Just come in ready to engage in all different ways, because sometimes you got to come in as a mentor protege or be a subcontractor in order to help knock down what we call incumbentism, right? The incumbents that are there, we have to get past that, right? So anyway, you can tell I'm excited about it, but this is definitely a
I
form
love
where
it.
we will be matchmaking and loving to meet everyone that's there.
Now, hopefully, Terry, you're going to tell us where there is because everybody's like,
Hey,
well,
look,
where
now,
is this
I'm
place?
gonna jump in
You
real
know,
quick before we get going. Real
yes.
quick, let me just say this before we move on to the next point. As the president of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, we value our relationships, and I can tell you from day one, Constellation hit the ground looking for diverse suppliers, They were aggressive. They were at every event. I just want to commend Constellation, its leadership, for being truly committed to
Yes.
finding diverse business, not because it's just the right thing to do, it's because it makes good business sense at the same time. And I can tell you, Constellation is not just a company that says, look, here's all the things we do. They're aggressively looking for businesses. So if you're a business owner and you're trying to get to a place where you can do business, you want to come to this event because they are truly committed to that. And I just want to commend any company that really has a true commitment to include diverse suppliers. And there's very few companies who do it like Constellation. And their past CEO I've known for quite a number of years at the same time. So my hats off to you, Andre, and to the incredible work that your team is doing all across the country. And you guys are accessible. So hats off to you. LaDonna, I'll pass it back to you and Terrie.
Thank you, Larry.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely. Thank you, Andre, and thank you, Larry. And Andre, you said to Wanda, she repeats this phrase, like you said, Constellation is open for business, and we will be open at the summit next week on March 13th at Malcolm X College, right down here in Chicago, downtown Chicago, right by, I think it's 1900 West Jackson, I believe is the
Yes, I
address.
believe.
I believe that's the address, but that's where we'll be. There's free parking. We'll have breakfast. We'll have lunch. It's a full day. And Andre mentioned that his entire team, they've been working with us. Not only will they hand out water, they have been helping us plan the event. So they have been, you know, faithfully engaging directly with us because they are here to do business with our businesses, with the Illinois State Black Chamber members, with all businesses that's located in the state of Illinois. So come out with us. Again, we start at 8 o'clock next week with breakfast. The first session will start about 8:50. We'll go into about 4:50. And then we'll have a women's recognition event right up the street at the Hyatt House at the H Bar. And our wonderful radio personality, Miss LaDonna Raeh, will be emceeing that. And we'll be recognizing about 15 outstanding leaders throughout the country, not only in the state of Illinois, but we'll be recognizing a wonderful young graduate of Howard University as well. So we're looking to have a great time next Thursday. So if you're out there, take advantage of this discount code too.
Uh-oh.
Chamber 2025 is only for the listeners out there, and I know these are Larry Chamber members, so take advantage of the discount. We're offering that to you because we want you there. We want you to scale and grow your business.
All right. I was thinking, Andre, in addition to your sponsorship, we understand that Constellation will be on hand, but how is Constellation participating? I mean, will the representatives be available for future meetings if they're not able to get everything out at that moment? Can they schedule something in the future? I know you mentioned there are specific panels and discussions, but will there be matchmaking opportunities for future as well as on that day. You know what I mean? So
Yes.
just to make sure that we're building some type of follow through so that those individuals can, if they're not necessarily ready at that moment, they can come, in the near future.
Yeah, absolutely. So, a couple things, right? So, as you said, we'll be there definitely at the matchmaker, and we'll have all our information. When we say we're open for business, we mean that we're accessible at any time, any day, any moment. And to your point, LaDonna, right? Some people may not be ready. But what we believe in doing is planting the seeds today for the growth for the future, right? And so even if you're not ready, come see us. Talk to us about what you're thinking, where your mind is at. Because I tell you, we have a team that's amazing. Terrie, you mentioned the honoring a women ceremony next Thursday. Tawan is one of them. And you guys, if you go to the conference, you will see why she's one of them. We are committed. We're committed. So bring your materials, bring your mouthpiece, just come talk to us. I will tell you last year, like I said, small but mighty team, we met individually, whether it was in person or on the phone, with over 100 businesses, one-on-one, right? Just to have that conversation and that dialogue. And there's nothing more gratifying to see a conversation start and then result in a contract, right? Because We're not just open for doing business, we're also in for development, right? In engagement. So come see us, come to our booth, pull us by the coattails. If you can't find us, talk to Terrie, talk to Larry. They'll find us, and we will make that a priority to get in touch with you. So definitely open for business. Come see us.
This is great. What advice would you give small businesses that were looking to become suppliers of Constellation?
Yeah, so I'm gonna so Terrie, you said something I'm gonna bring in. So my best friend in the whole entire world is my father, and there's something that he taught me when I was going to college. And he said, "Son, what is the three most important things you must know about life in when you go to college here?" And I said, "What's that, Dad?" He said, "It's three things: who you know." I said, "Okay." He said, "Number two is who you know." I said, "Okay." He said, "Number three is who you know." I said, okay, I got it. Now, fast forward 4 years later, right? I graduate. He comes to me. First thing he says, not, congratulations on graduation, son. What's the three most important things that you've learned in college? I said, oh, I got this, Dad. Who you know and who you know. He said, oh, you haven't learned nothing. I said, what do you mean, Dad? He said, after 4 years, it's about who knows you,
Oh, oh, I
right?
like your dad.
So,
Yeah,
so
that's
I'm
good.
saying that to say this. You can't win the game if you don't get in the game. It's one thing to know about Constellation in other companies. It's another thing for them to know about you, right?
Yes.
So first understand who you are, what your value proposition is, and what you do and do it well, and know your story. You may not have a whole lot of time to talk about your story, but when you talk about your story, have that knowledge, that deep rooted knowledge. So it goes away from you just knowing who the company is to them knowing who you are, and then watch the floodgates open up. So that's the advice I would give to
Well,
small
you're
business.
listening. You're listening to the Wake Up Show Chicago with Larry Ivory as the president and CEO of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce, and Terrie Simmons is here in studio with us with strategic exceptions. And then we're listening to our special guest Andre Wallace with Constellation Energy. And of course, I want you guys to call in if you have any questions. Don't feel intimidated, and I'm not saying that you do. It's just that when you listen to such great information, you're probably taking notes, but you can also call in with your questions. And that phone number is 773-591-1690. Always you can integrate with your concerns, questions, ideas with the Wake Up Show Chicago, no matter what our topic is. But this has been an exceptional conversation just because now people can listen to this and say, I want to get involved.
Mm-hmm.
We're so inundated with heavy, heavy news all the time,
Yes.
especially in Chicago. There's so many things happening back to back. But when there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and actually, I think there's a light at the beginning of this one, it's just worth going through it
Yes.
because now you can take control of your destiny, your family's legacy, your legacy,
Mm-hmm.
and get involved with companies like Constellation, like Strategic Exceptions, like the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. So I want you guys also to consider going to ilbcc.org,
Mm-hmm.
clicking on that membership button, and you'll see the different membership benefits that we have available so that you can be in the same room with people like Mr. Andre Wallace and Terrie Simmons and Larry Ivory and myself,
Yes.
because this is huge.
Yes.
You can't do anything. I know some people are getting used to that online dating stuff and that social media, or as older people say, the social media. But you still have to be in person and be
Yes.
present.
Yes.
So I'm encouraging you guys to do those things. And Constellation, you have a website as well. Maybe they want to read on their own time. What is that website, Andre?
Constellation.com.
Yep. And it's spelled CONSTELLATION.com. If you want to take a look at what they have on their website, which I did look at before we did the show. Also,
LaDonna,
Terrie. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Larry.
LaDonna, one of the things I think I wanted to simply touch base on real quick is that, in this environment, things have changed a little bit, to say the least.
Yes.
And relationship building will become more important as we look into the current environment. So when you get a chance, and sometimes it's not always easy to get into a company, you really have to stay focused, build a relationship, and it's about relationship building.
Mhm.
So when you come to meet Constellation and other companies that will be at the event, you're really building a relationship. You really want to get acquainted, let them get acquainted with you, to give your best pitch, and really begin to be really committed to understanding what they're looking for. So I hope our listening audience, especially our business owners who are listening, understand that this is an incredible opportunity to get to know Constellation and to begin to build a relationship. And we're going to have to look at building our strength of our businesses because things are changing slightly. As to how much more they're going to change, we're going to see. We're not going to overreact or underreact, but we are going to continue to stay focused on the things that will help strengthen our hands and grow our businesses at the same time.
And Larry, I was just about to ask you a question. I noticed that you had a networking event for all of the members and those that were interested in becoming members. And that was on Thursday at Gallery Guichard. They
Yes.
are also one of our members. When you walked into the room and you saw those businesses, I think we had well over 100 people
Mhm.
that were representatives of organizations, businesses, and those thinking to do business. How did it make you feel bringing those people together through those monthly networking events? Because we have Lobby Day coming up.
Well, Donna, it is always the ultimate high for me when I see Black business and Black people coming together, engaging in conversation about how to help each other, how to expand their business, how to grow. And, with the Bichards, going over to Zimbabwe with it was very exciting. So every time we get a chance to build a relationship, it's an opportunity for us to expand our business. So, I can tell you it's always a great time for us to connect and reconnect with people, and that event was exceptional, and we had a great time. It was great seeing Terry there, and so many other people, LaDonna. And like I said, I'm equally as excited to be able to hang out with Andre at the event, to get acquainted with all the wonderful things that are going on at Terry's event. And again, I want to emphasize to everybody: come out and participate in this event. Don't You owe this to yourself to come out to the event and get connected, because you only have to have one opportunity that can change your life or take your business to a whole different level. But if you're not at the table, if you're not there, you'll miss that opportunity. So don't miss the opportunity to help yourself to grow your business. Make sure you're there.
I just dropped the mic. I'm sorry. Uh,
Yeah.
well, Andre, is this? Do you have to go, or are you hanging out with us?
I can hang out for a bit more.
Okay. So Terry, the floor is yours.
Oh, okay. So, um, just to tell you a little bit more about what's going on at our event next week. Um, if you want to learn more or you want to register for the event, we are on social media: LinkedIn, Facebook, Illinois MBDA. You can find me, Terrie Simmons MBDA. If anyone is interested and have any specific questions, you can call us at 630. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to give you a special number. I'm going to give you 630-746-5634 in case there's any questions about how you can participate in matchmaking, or if you would like to be a vendor. We have some students. We just got, oh my goodness, we've got so much excitement around the summit. We've got some students that reached out to us last night.
What age? What student? College or high school?
High school students that
Wow.
want to learn more about entrepreneurship. I don't ask me the name of the organization. I didn't get it from my executive director yet, but we have about 5 students that we're looking to sponsor for next week. And so there's a lot of excitement going on. Like Larry said, we have to be in this game now. If you're sitting on the bench, it's because you want to be riding the pine.
Oh.
There's opportunity to get in the game. These summits, Larry's having lobby day. He will have his conference coming up. He has monthly meetings. If you're a business owner and you're looking to build capacity, these type of events, we put these on just for you.
Mhm.
So you can engage with corporations. We're going to have municipalities there that's looking for
different type of suppliers. Imagine that. And some businesses, they shy away because they feel they have to have a certain type of designation, such as certifications. Not necessarily. There are corporations, there are municipalities that does not require a certification. We are also going to be launching our marketplace, and I'm very excited about the marketplace. It is an online platform where buyers and suppliers can do business together.
Oh, kind of like Tinder. Well,
kind of like Amazon.
Okay.
Kind of like an Amazon. How about that? But anyone can come onto this platform, create their own storefront, and you can do business with other suppliers. Buyers will be on this platform, and you can do business anywhere in the country. Say, for instance, corporation may be looking for some last minute items. Say they need 5 chairs and they don't necessarily want to order. We don't want you to, we're not saying not to order from Amazon, but a lot of those goods come from China. These goods that you'll be buying on our platform, they'll be coming from America. So we're providing a platform for buyers and suppliers to do business and source from America.
So that helps in cost too, because that shipping can
that
kill
tariff
you.
thing that we keep hearing
exactly.
about.
It's in, it's out, it's in, it's out.
Yeah. So we're trying to, mitigate some of those gaps, if you will, or some of those hurdles. We're making it easier for buyers to do business with minority-owned businesses. We're taking that I can't find. We're helping to remove some of that, because in my career, since I've been doing business development, I've heard that a lot. I can't find.
Yeah.
So when you provide the tools and the resources, you take away some of those excuses.
And
so
then
we're
you have
so
to
excited.
push the resource itself, because they have to
Absolutely.
know where to go. Back in the day, we had the yellow pages, the white pages,
Mhm.
but now it's like we go to Google and we still can't find.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we're creating a platform where minorities, or anyone for that matter,
Mhm.
can do business with suppliers and buyers from any part, anywhere in the country, and from different industries. So at our summit next week, we're going to have municipalities, we're going to have corporations, we're have manufacturing, we're looking to bring a lot of our minority-owned businesses. They're not in the advanced manufacturing space.
Mhm.
So we want to provide those opportunities so they can learn more about this industry and engage in this industry. Because what I'm hearing is that there's a lot of smaller manufacturing owners that are becoming in the aging population, and they're looking for buyers for those businesses. So we have a lot of resources. We bring a lot of resources. We bring a lot of opportunities to businesses. So we are just excited about this. Is our 3rd time, and we're growing and we're growing and we're growing so well. And I guess we're doing some things right because Constellation continues to tag on with us. So we're really excited about that.
I love that.
Absolutely. Hey, and LaDonna, before we sign off, because I know we have Congressman Jonathan Jackson
Yes.
coming up, I want to give Andre any closing thoughts before we switch over. Andre, is there anything specifically you want to tell the listening audience, business community? I want to give you the final opportunity to share anything you want to share before we close out here with you.
And I appreciate that, Larry. Thank you. I first want to say thank you to yourself and to LaDonna, and also Terrie. Again, LaDonna, for having this platform that just is so important to our community to be able to hear these types of conversations. Wake up, wake up is so important. So thank you for the platform. And then for the partnership, Larry and LaDonna, as I said, this doesn't happen. This cannot happen in a vacuum. This is truly an ecosystem. I don't want people to think that any company has all the answers. We don't. The answer comes through partnership. And the partnerships are through the hard work and efforts of the Chamber and MBDA. The other thing that I'll say, and I said it again for suppliers, you got to get in the game. Don't let perfection get in the way of good. When you have companies that really want and care about developing you, maybe you're not ready today. But if you find people like my team who care, we will give you feedback, good, bad, or indifferent, to help you become better. The other thing I would say is be persistent and consistent. We're running a business as well. There's a lot of suppliers that are coming in, but I can tell you, if we don't get to you right away, when you plant that seed, that's a seed that stays and perpetuates. So just keep coming back and know that you're being heard and not being lost. And then for those other supply professionals that work for companies, my competitors, if you're listening, I'll also share with you, because again, it's the ecosystem. If you're doing this work, it shouldn't be company specific. It's about what's doing right for your company and for society. But one thing I would say to you in these times is to really focus on and help educate people on the business value of doing this work, for finding suppliers, small, diverse suppliers. Why focus on the value? Because when business understands that this is not just a feel good pat on the back, it's good for business. It's so important, because at the end of the day, when you have a supply base that reflects the communities that we serve, you're maximizing that business value. You're increasing the level of competition. You're increasing innovation. You're creating more access to new marketplaces, and you're driving economic impact and inclusion. So if you're on this side of the fence, make sure that your organization understands the business value and the societal value of working with companies that may be marginalized, may be small, you name it, because bringing that into the ecosystem makes us all better from a business perspective and from a community perspective. So,
Well, Andre, thank you very much.
Yeah, I
Thank
didn't
you.
I didn't want to interrupt him. He said, "Thank you, LaDonna. I am simply the producer and co-host. This is not my baby." But it sounded so good. I was like, let me just soak this in a little bit. But no, this is, and thank you, Andre. You're so welcome. And
Yes.
this is Larry's baby. So
No,
we're gonna get you out of here, Andre. You're welcome to come back anytime,
Yes.
along with
Yes. Thank
Terry,
you,
of
Andre.
course. Yes,
Thank you
thank
so
you,
much.
thank
ladies
you.
and gentlemen. Andre Wallace with Constellation.
Take care.
absolutely.
All right. Larry, I'm going to go ahead. We're going to take a little bit of a live read break just to remind people about Lobby Day and membership. It's so important that we do so because it's coming up. And I know, Terry, your event is coming up next week. That is so true. Yes. We also need people to register for Lobby Day,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
coming up April 9th, Larry, and we need people, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean lots of them. So to
Yes.
come and join us and get on the bus because we can't do it without you. I went last year. Larry's been going every year, and this is how we get change looked at by the agencies of the Illinois Department of Revenue, the Illinois Department of Transportation, Illinois Department of Corrections, and the list goes on. But we need all business owners, entrepreneurs, and community leaders to mark their calendars for our April 9th because it's time to make our voices heard at Lobby Day in Springfield, and
Yes.
that's Springfield, Illinois. So join us as we head to the state capitol to advocate for policies that support Black businesses, economic empowerment, and equal opportunities. This is your chance to meet with state legislators, decision makers, and industry leaders to discuss the issues that matter most to our businesses and our communities. So we need you in the room. We can't do it with just Larry.
Absolutely.
All right. Can't be the 12 of us, the 5 of us, the 3 of us. It has to be the hundreds of
Yes.
us,
Yes.
hundreds of us. If you want to fight for better access to capital, fair procurement opportunities, and policies that drive economic growth for Black businesses, then you don't want to miss Lobby Day on April 9th. Now, transportation is available. I know you're thinking, wow, Springfield and gas is only $1. So you can still jump on the bus with us. That option is available on ilbcc.org. It is simply what, $20, Larry, I think it is, for them to just get on the bus with us, and they'll be able to park their cars, get on the bus, and ride straight to Springfield. So that is where we're headed on the 9th of April. Go to ilbcc.org, or you can call our phone number that's on our website. Larry, go ahead and give it to them.
My phone number is 309 740 4430. That is the phone number for the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. And again, this lobby day is about us. And we always say, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. We need all our champions coming together to push for more equity and inclusion. We will be sending out an invitation to meet with the governor, to meet with Lieutenant Governor, to meet with the leadership of the caucus. We will be meeting with heads of agencies like the Department of Correction, Department of Transportation, CMS, and Capital Development Board. So it'll be a great time for you to get engaged and make sure that you understand some of the legislation that we're for and legislation that we're against. You'll be calling our legislators out of session because they'll be in session at that time to let them know that these are the things that are important to us. And I want to go ahead, LaDonna.
Sorry, Larry. I just got a update from his team that he is held up in a meeting and he's trying to get out of so he can get on with us. So I just got off the phone with his team. So yeah, we are definitely hoping that he can grab us for a few minutes, but we do realize and understand his responsibility. And Larry, I'm sorry for cutting you off. I just wanted to give you that
Uh,
update.
Hey, no problem. It's always such a great opportunity for us to, you know, leadership is about defining reality. And, the reality of it is that things are changing.
Mhm.
Um, I know with Congressman Jonathan Jackson, who's representing us in Congress, that there's a lot happening. And in spite of some of the
Yes.
overtures
Yes.
about DEI and LaDonna, did you say something? I don't want. I don't. If Jonathan
about to cut you off in about 5 seconds.
Okay. Well, I'm
4.
going to talk to five, four, three, two, one.
Yep.
But we're excited. Go
All
ahead.
right, he's in. Good morning, Congressman. Welcome to the Wake Up Show Chicago. Larry, Congressman is on the line.
Hey, Congressman
Oh,
Jonathan Jackson,
man.
man.
Brother Larry, how are you, my friend?
Man, I am doing fine, but man, I'm so excited to hear from you and to get your perspective on what's happening on Capitol Hill. So I'm going to stop and be quiet and let you talk because I'm running out of time. But I'm so excited to have you on the call today.
Well, thank you so much. Let me just share the first thing. I'm down in Selma, Alabama right now. It's the 60th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act to ensure equal rights to all Americans. I'm 59 years of age. I am the first generation of African Americans that was born after the signing of the Civil Rights Act. I'm the first generation of African Americans that was granted equal rights. And in my lifetime, my children will have less rights than I've had that were procured by my father and so many others that fought and marched for this. What's happening on Capitol Hill right now is a reversal of our civilian rights, our rights to business, our rights to opportunity, our rights to education, our rights to advancement in the military. It's a complete reversal. The decorum in that body has been reduced and is gone. But this is one of the consequences when you have a man that's had 34 felonies to have been given 77 million votes to go in there and become the chief executive of GAN. When Mr. Mitch McConnell did not bring insurrection charges against Mr. Trump, he had given him a second opportunity to run again. He's only been in office roughly 43, 44 days, like 63,000 seconds. And there are 100 lawsuits, and they've been to the Supreme Court 5 times. This is going to happen for the next 1,400 days. This is a spirit of vengeance and grievances, and the nation is going to be the weaker because of this man.
Yes.
Well, Jonathan, we always have to be vigilant in terms of, because my mentor, Arthur Fletcher, wrote Affirmative Action, and he would roll over in his grave to see where we're at now. But what do you think we need to do specifically to, because it's happening, how do we prepare ourselves, and what should the general public be looking at, and what should business people be considering from your perspective at this point in time?
Brother Larry, let's set a date when we have a town hall and discuss blacks in business and talk about what are the consequences of these affirmative action decisions and what's happening now in Washington, D.C. The mayor came to Washington, did a great job. He's holding on to sanctuary cities as a retaliatory measure. Now the Small Business Administration is removing its office out of a sanctuary city. They're taking small business associations out. When the president says that we're an English-speaking only country, what is he really saying? He does not have the ability to make law. He can clarify law with executive orders, but he cannot write law. That's the work of the legislature. So by him unilaterally, summarily talking about we're going to be done with DEI, well, that's in the fabric of contract compliance and equal opportunity. Who can be against diversity? E pluribus unum, out of many we're one. Who can be against equality and equal protection under the law, the 14th Amendment? Who can be against inclusivity, giving persons that have different abilities access so that they compete, having access to curb cuts and wheelchair ramps and accessibility into buildings? So there's a whole range of things that affects us. So we've started, Brother Larry, and I need to get caught up with you, a diversity, equity, and inclusion caucus. I have over 21 members. We're going to give support to those corporations that stick by their values, that want to do the right thing. We're going to give support to universities that want to stick to their values. This isn't this isn't a boycott. This is to show we're standing with those corporations that want to keep their freedom of speech, that want to affirm their values for these programs that have proven to be beneficial.
Congressman, I hate to slide in there. Our program ends at 10 o'clock, and they've given us one extra minute. And thank you so much. I just want to thank our special guests that we've had on today. Obviously, we've had Andre Wallace with Constellation. We've had Terrie Simmons with Strategic Exceptions. I am co-host to Larry Ivory, El Capitan, as Buddy Love would say, of the Illinois State Black Chamber of Commerce. Please tune in each and every Saturday at 9 a.m. to 10, and we will have an extended discussion sometime next week when we do the recap with my assistant producer, Mr. Lorenzo T. Hughes. I am out. I'm LaDonna Raeh, and we will see you next Saturday. And don't forget to come out next Thursday.
Thank you, LaDonna.
Yes. Thank you,
Thank you, Congressman.
All right,
Thank
we're
you.
out.
Take care.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye for now.
Get ready to wake up to the pulse of progress as we amplify voices, break barriers, and illuminate the path towards a more inclusive tomorrow. Follow us across the socials at The Wake Up Show Chicago. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. It's The Wake Up Show every Saturday morning at 9, where change begins with every sunrise.
Welcome to the Wake Up Show Chicago.
That's the end?
The talk of Chicago is 1690 WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
Did you know a woman's risk of breast cancer nearly doubles if she has a first-degree relative? That's a mother, sister, or daughter who has been diagnosed with breast cancer. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Schedule your mammogram today.
March is Women's History Month, and here at WVON, we're turning up the volume on the women who shaped Chicago and those shaping it now. From classrooms to campaign trails, boardrooms to big stages, Black women have broken barriers, built bridges, and paved the way forward. This month, we honor the icons who made history and the rising stars making it now. Education, politics, philanthropy, entertainment, the arts, and STEM. Chicago's legendary women dared to dream, demanded change, and delivered. Today's game changers, they're forging new paths. They say history repeats itself, but these women, they rewrite it. Powered by Bally Chicago.
Listen up, fellow Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here. The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way.